I've just unmuted the mic, Mikey, so
Yes.
that was good.
What?
Everything we just said, no one heard, so fantastic news. Fantastic news.
Oh, lovely.
PlayStation settings, obviously, for a previous stream I've done. There we go. So, hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to us talking now. Invictus Racing League, Tier 1, Round 2 from Spain. We've been chatting absolute nonsense, nothing that has been of any use to anyone. But yeah, so obviously just if you're just wondering, me and Ray just chatting about this last chicane, how most people probably hated it because it ruined flow, and this circuit normally produces some good close racing. Getting to Hunty plays AGLS, which is ARL, and Yellow Geeson. Or on the chat, Yellow saying no pace for him. Today we shall find out. I've heard that before from drivers, and next you know they're on pole position. But it looks like we've got a McLaren on its way out. We've also got ARL, who usually is the first one out, and he is today. He's managed to get that honour.
Question is, can he be on the top step for this evening's race in Catalonia? So,
that's the question. Hunty's saying he's going with no racing line today, which is saying he's going to go Paddington.
adventurous.
It's good though. It's good to see drivers taking away that aid, especially on this game. I mean, it's one of those things with circuit racing. Like, if you're an absolute novice to sort of racing games, I can understand that racing line element. Just learning. If you're new to the circuits, just learning them. But obviously, if you're a bit of a seasoned veteran, you kind of feel like racing line. You should know the circuit by now. I mean, you are doing the same thing over and over and over again. But I know some of the drivers do run with it.
I do. I won't lie. I'd like to say I'm good, but I've got no talent. But no, it's. I struggle with just no traction control, to be fair. So,
but we're going to be
used to things.
Go on board with ARL and for a lap of this circuit down towards turn 1. He's still actually warming up the tyres as we go down into turn 1, 2 and 3. This right-left combination, you want to throw as early as you can because you want to open up 3 and leave it as pinned as you can. It should be flat out in qualifying conditions. It is flat out for ARL on this occasion. Down to 4. Drop it 4 gears, get it tucked in and then bring the throttle back in. Run it wide to open the steering and get the throttle on as you get down towards the downhill hairpin of 5. Down to 2nd for ARL, mid apex through there and using the curb on the exit. Through 6 is a little kink left. Then 7 and 8, this one synonymous with spinning if you hit the curbs too hard. Turn 9, a tiny confidence lift from ARL going through the brow of turn 9 when you'd like to take that flat. Into 10, drop it down a few cogs, down to 2nd for ARL, which is surprising, and he's actually aborted that lap. I don't know if that was potentially just a sighter lap or whether that was an interrupted one by the car ahead with the traffic. I'm not quite sure.
It might have been the case, yeah. I think, yeah, Hunty is in.
I'll go on board with Owen, though, to finish off a lap, because he is currently on one. When we say he's on one, that can mean various things with Owen at times, as he gets a bit sideways through 10, through 11, yeah, that is 10, 11 into 12. Last year, 12.4. Through the penultimate corner, it's just flat for Owen, and it is flat through the last corner as well. That's ridiculous grip, and it's a 12.1 for Owen to go provisional pole position. We've got Paul Racetech coming through, who's starting a lap.
Oh, I thought Paul was on a lap, sorry. Denmark with Sydney with a 1:11, okay. The party's getting started. Steps is coming across now.
Steps goes 5th quickest with a 14.0. Beyond de Boer. Expect good things from Beyond. He goes 4th quickest, that's 12.6. And we got Anthony Hunt's, Hunty plays, coming up to the last couple of corners in the Mercedes. What can he achieve through the last couple of corners? So 15.3, so it's not a bad time from Hunty. Obviously a bit of time to find, but obviously with learning without any line, that's not a bad start for him.
Obviously, Jeremy Clarkson doing a 1 minute 29. Obviously, Clarkson being a returning member of the Old Guard from a few seasons ago, so it's good to see older members of the community coming back and joining us. So
Yeah, it's good to see some of the fast guys coming back. I mean, obviously, 12 in tonight. A few people couldn't make it, so the tier is growing in terms of numbers. But it'd be good to see some more drivers join, especially for this tier 1, because it's a fantastic tier. I mean, some of the driving on display in tier 1 always good to watch. As Jeremy Clarkson coming down towards 7 and 8 at the moment. Jeremy, one of the ones who's always able to sort of keep up with Merckx and give him a little bit of a challenge near the front of the pack.
sorry, I was supposed to say Ash Tubes spun it at the top of the hill out of 4. Yeah, I was just in the gravel, so might have just lost. Put the tyre on the grass on the left hand side, so it doesn't seem like he's got any damage, but be interested to see what he does. But obviously, if he pulls on a lap, or is he coming in?
As Jeremy Clarkson puts himself 5th quickest, Paul, I think, is coming in because he's now set at 112.4. I think he's coming in for an in lap or a tyre change.
Yeah, he's coming in. Yeah, that's a really good time for Clarkson, to be fair. Obviously, getting on the pace with the other drivers. So, from the looks of it though, like, obviously if it was to finish now, it's going to be quite a closed sort of pack, this. Obviously still it's under 11 minutes to go, so anything can happen. So, I'm not sure if ARL might have had the same as Ash Tube there, the top of the hill.
No, I don't know whether he might just be getting out of the way because some boy's on a flying lap at the moment.
Oh no, I just had grass on the left hand tyres, so it was just a rough guess, to be fair.
But some boy coming down to the end of sector 2. It is worth noting Yellowgeeson does have a qualifying ban for this race, which is why he's not coming out. I mean, it might be worth Yellow just coming out the pits, doing an out lap, and then going back into the pits just to make sure sort of that your setup and that stays on your car. I think that's generally speaking the advice is normally given to those with the quali ban. Unfortunately, picking up a penalty of a quali ban last week. But Sunboy put himself into 8th place with the Ferrari. A bad lap time for him as we've got an Alpine. I think that's Denmark just coming around to start a lap. Steps coming around to start a lap as well.
Oh, we've actually got a comment from our colleague commentator, Jack, reminding us that ironically Jeremy apparently has the 5th I can't see it because the 5th best time in the world. I don't know if that's Jack's attempt of Clarkson humour. Oh, thanks for sharing that, Jack.
The absolute hype man there, Jack. Giving everyone hope of a Jeremy Clarkson pole position, I think.
The 5th best time in the world. Sorry, I had to try and attempt there. Can't help myself.
Yellow saying he was actually here for seasons 12, 13 and 14, which is slightly before I arrived in IRL. I think I arrived at sort of season maybe 14. I think I arrived. I graced my presence in IRL. Doing some commentary. But Denmark just coming through the last sector as we speak in the Alpine. The question is, what sort of time can he produce up to the line he comes?
Full flat on that last corner there, to be fair though.
It's a 13-0. Only moves him up a spot ahead of Sunboy, but is an extra spot on the grid. So can't complain too much.
Let's see what the steps can do. He's only got 2 corners to go. I don't think he's on a time lap though.
Yeah, he is. He should be on a time lap. If not, then it's a slow one. He's burning battery all the way through. He spun it through the last corner into the wall. Somehow keeps his front right corner on the car. But that was a sort of a factor, the fact that he left the ERS on overtake mode through that last corner, maybe trying just to gain a few extra tenths. But
there's Owen. got slightly on the gravel there, on the grass. Just sent it for a spin.
Not ideal, that throw-in. But yeah, I think Steps... I mean, it's a good idea from Steps there to leave the battery on through that last corner, because if the car can handle it, you can probably gain a fair bit of time, but I don't think these cars are able to keep that overtake mode on and still go around that corner flat. As Beyond Boa puts himself into 3rd place.
Obviously, Bjorn will want to come out swinging, obviously with the result from last week. Obviously, unfortunately, he's not got his teammate with him this week, so obviously all the pressure is going to be on Bjorn.
Paul Racetech getting under the 1 minute 12 barrier, a 1:11.993 for the McLaren. Puts him within arm's reach of Sydney, who's on a 1:11.805. I think there's an Alpine in him. There's a RB on the way through. It's Ashtube, and he looks like he is on a hot lap through the final corner here at Catalunya. Cross line keeps to the left. Minimise your meterage. Fifth place, a 1:12.306. I don't think he actually moves anywhere, but he just goes slightly quicker to cement that place. There's Jeremy Clarkson now, 3/10 up after sector 2. Well, he runs a bit wide, does Jeremy Clarkson, and he invalidates that lap on that final corner. Not ideal for the Williams, just going a slight bit wide. As ARL currently on our lap, I think, and he's slightly down after 2 sectors by 0.01. Question is, can he make up a bit of time here through the last corner he goes? Keeps it just about in check. That RB looking phenomenally twitchy. In 7th place he stays, but again he does cement that a bit more. A 1:12.678. I don't know whether he's driving an iceberg or something, but he's still warming up those tyres after he's done I'm going to say a cold lap with those tyres by the scenes of it. He just, I don't know what's going on, because normally Spain, not an issue with tyre temperature.
Luck's never really been a thing around Spain for me, as you know from the previous races I've tried. But temperature-wise, not too bad. I think it's more wear that's going to be the issue. But I've not really go with Catalonia as a track on this game, unfortunately. So I suppose we'll just have to see and find out. But yeah, Sunboy put himself up to 8th for 1:12.8.
Anthony Hunt's crossing the line, but he invalidated that lap time, so he's going to have to go again. And he's slowly running out of time, is Anthony, to try and sort of have a look at those Alpines. And he actually goes off track there, and I feel like he's going to come in, get a new set of boots, and go again. And Jeremy Clarkson, however, let's go on board Jeremy for a lap, because there's not much else going on circuit-wise. Most people now in the pits. Denmark's come out for his outlap. Oh, he's gone round! Jeremy Clarkson round, and this is unfamiliar territory for Jeremy Clarkson. He's under pressure to get a lap in now. I mean, surely at this point he's going to have to come in, ditch those boots, and get a new set, because those are going to be destroyed.
It's obviously unexpected from the Clarkson, if I'm honest, but hey ho. But
and you see their tyres where the rears are so hot from him spinning the car around, just massively twitchy through turn 9. Somebody coming into the pits, Hunty. And that's Denmark. Denmark's round at turn 9. Turn 7 and 8. I did say it was a bit of a catalyst, that corner, for spinning, because if you hit the curbs too hard, it will unsettle the car, as Denmark has now found out. He's lost the front wing. Luckily, I think he's got enough time to come back into the pits, get a new front wing, new tyres, or have to go on an old set of tyres again and have a final run.
He might be able to, I think.
Yeah, 3 minutes on the clock. It's a very short outlap round here, because obviously it's only, as you see, fast laps in the minute, averaging the minute 12 area. So
it's just getting in, though. That's the thing, unfortunately.
I think it depends when the Steps decides he wants to go out and leave the garage, which probably won't be for, I'd say, another minute if you want to go out near the end, as Anthony Hunt is on his next lap.
I was to say, it would be a bit awkward if he come out now as his teammates coming in, just like, no. So
I think once the car enters the pit lane, if the steps isn't already out, I think the pit crew come out and block him. So that's the difference. Anthony Hunt, 1.2 seconds up through sector 2. Just got to get through this last sector now, number 47. You see the car just twitching a bit on corner X. A lot of curve taken through there. Through the last corner, you see the back end not happy, but crosses the line, and he is quicker. He's a 14.2, which means he's in range of the steps right now. It just depends what that Alpine can do further on. ARL will be the first man to start his last lap out of the remaining of the field.
Yeah, obviously, so not too far behind him. He's got Paul, then of Sydney, and then I believe it will be Monsieur Clarkson.
ARL deciding not to go on this lap. He's going to go around and go for another sort of tyre warm-up lap. And but poor Race Tech, he's decided, yep, this is the lap to go. So the McLaren, possibly thinking at a minute 20, he doesn't have quite enough time to do another sort of tyre warm-up lap. So I think everyone behind Paul Race Tech is going to be on a flyer.
Yeah, did have to now because, well, obviously 1 minute 5 seconds. So it's a purple sector for Paul there. About time and board.
Yeah, well, I would never sort of agree with the game on that. As we know, the track map very often lies to us on F1 games, and I don't think it's ever been changed. Poor Racer, though, going up towards the infamous turn 9 over the crest. Fast as you can go, and he's deploying that battery quite a lot. He's not leaving a lot for the end of this sector, which is interesting to note as he heads through turn 10, which goes into 11 and 12. See 11, just that little kink left after, even though it's a continuous corner. Through the final couple of corners for this final lap then. Paul Racetech up to the line. What can he achieve? Can he get into provisional pole? The answer is no, but he is very, very close. Less than a tenth away from Sydney. Speaking of Sydney, he comes across the line and he blitzes in a time of 1:11.642 to cement that place at the top of the standings. Who else have we got coming through? We've got Jeremy Clarkson, who's on a lap. 3.5 tenths up to the good after 2 seconds. Gets a bit of a wobble on through 11 into 12. And Jeremy,
Let's see what he can do.
He's looking for a lot better time than a 12.6. Up to the line he comes, just about keeps it in bounds, and he goes 12.3, which is not great. He stays in 6th place behind Ashtube. The steps goes a 12.7 up to 8th place. We've got Ashtube goes into 3rd, a 1:12.1. That's a good time from him. Beyond Bauer, he was going faster. He does go faster, up to 2nd on the front row for the Aston Martin. Anthony Hunt, I don't think he improved. So you got drives coming across the line.
4th?
Yeah, Owen up into 4th. Sunboy crosses the line. He's in 9th. We've got ARL still to come. He's the last man on a lap, as far as I can see, to the line. And it is 6th place for ARL, 12.2. That's a good time from him. Yeah, and Paul Racetech coming into the pits. But it is Sydney who takes pole position here for the Spanish Grand Prix. We're looking at Bjorn because we can't get to Sydney after he crossed the line, after the timer had expired. But yeah, Sydney takes pole position from Bjorn de Boer, who's going to complete that front row. And then is an all-McLaren row 2.
Obviously, can they hopefully convert this time? Obviously, they got quite unlucky last week. 10-second penalties in obviously our first round in Bahrain. So
yeah, there's one thing I see. Sydney leading the championship coming into this after the first round, but here's the grid order. On row 1 it is Sydney and Bjorn de Boer. It's an all Dutch affair, with Paul Racetech and Owen, an all McLaren affair on row 2. Row 3 consists of the RBs of Ashtube and ARL. Row 4 consists of Jeremy Clarkson and the Steps. Row 5 is Sunboy and Denmark, with Anthony Hunt and Jelle Giesen rounding out the grid on the 6th and final row for tonight's Grand Prix. Everyone in a massive sandwich between the two Red Bulls.
It's like something you can get in America, isn't it? It's those big burgers. So. Obviously, I've never been, so I cannot confirm or deny that if that is a legit thing. So, do apologise if that is not correct.
So as we now load into the race. Yeah, obviously, it'd be interesting to see what tyres people take for this Grand Prix. Obviously, normally we expect sort of mediums and hards.
Yeah.
But obviously, with the track being such low grip, as Jack pointed out, could we potentially see a sort of a medium soft two-stop? If the mediums and the softs will last long enough, that could be a viable option. And we've seen it in the past in real life where a two-stop has been the way forward because you can just push the tyres. You don't have to worry about trying to save them.
I think it sounds weird, but I think it depends on, obviously, if there's a safety car in the first few laps. There is that. Could anything happen? You know, see if you start on the mediums, you could move over to obviously the hards, and then see if you've got another spare mediums, play it that way later in the race. But I don't know. I've never felt comfortable on the softs around here. I don't think they last longer than. Well, I'm not really too sure. Just a few laps, if I'm honest. But.
Only time will tell. I mean, everyone would have done their sort of their practice, tried to get a read on what the tyres are like and how much they're going to wear. So they'll all have the strategy they want in their minds. It just depends how it works in real life, effectively.
Because it's 33 laps this evening that we'll be doing around this beautiful circuit in northeastern Espanol. So, be interesting to see.
So as we wait for everyone to get their strategies straight, get it all locked in, and prepare for this race. I'm hoping once we get onto into the formation lap, I'll be able to see sort of what weather we're expecting for this race. It should be good for us to know, to see what sort of strategy we could. I mean, because it's not uncommon for it to rain around here.
Yeah, I've just give the drivers a 2-minute warning for when we go. So we will go at obviously UK time 33 minutes past 8. So
Just a couple more minutes to go before we get into the formation lap here at the Spanish Grand Prix. We have just a little bit of time to sort of have a recap of some standings, what happened last week.
yeah, obviously for quite a bit of the race, to be fair, the McLarens were looking good, and then unfortunately, when both of them did the stop, obviously incurred speed in the pit lane. So yeah, it didn't really go too well, unfortunately. But I think they got a fair amount of points still. But yeah,
That's all right. So Sydney does lead the championship coming in 17 points to his name. The Steps has 14, with Beyond the Bow on 12, ARL 10, Port Race Tech 8, Sunboy 7, Owen 7, due to a fastest lap point that went his way. Mind of the Boa, he's on 5, Denmark 4, Milo Bello not here tonight, he's on 3, the Wolf 2, and Typhoon on 1. And then further down you got Ash Tube, Hunty, Psychic Chip, all on 0. Unfortunately, Yellow Geeson on a -3 after last week, unfortunately. In terms of constructors, Alpine lead the way on 18 points with Aston Martin on 17, McLaren 15, Red Bull 14, Racing Bulls on 10 with Ferrari 8, Mercedes have 2, Haas, the only other team that has a driver currently signed up, has 0. Sauber and Williams have vacant seats should someone want to fill them.
Obviously, we're always open to new applications.
Always.
Obviously, reserves. But obviously, our formation lap to get us prepared. Yeah, it looks a bit over. I don't know what does the weather look like to you there, Joe?
I'll find out in a minute because it'll load up on my wonderful race control app. And it is cloudy by the looks of it, and it looks like it's going to be cloudy for the whole session.
Interesting.
But in terms of time, we've got a bit of a split here. The majority on mediums, however, we do have Owen on the soft tyres, looking for an early advantage. Jeremy Clarkson, the Steps, and Anthony Hunt all taking the harder compound of tyre. So that could make things very, very interesting with a nice split. Obviously, you've got 8 drivers on the mediums, the remainder, the other 4 on a different compound, and that'll mix things up, especially if Owen starts, if he gets a good launch off the line and uses those soft tyres early on. It could be a little bit of a force to be reckoned with, and a bit sort of undetected, because he's going to have to stop early in there, possibly going straight for a 2-stop. But that does mean that he's going to have that sort of undercut ability and the ability to maybe push the tyres harder than everyone else who may be looking to keep the tyre wear at a minimum.
Obviously, I think you could work it, but then you'd have to build a bit. Like, obviously, if should it go the way I imagine you would like it to go, you'd have try and build a gap. But we know the pace. Obviously, both Sydney and Bjorn is pretty impressive, to be fair. So, but is it one mad enough to do it? So fair play to him.
Well, nothing ventured, nothing gained as the drivers line up for the second round of the season. Season number 22, an 8-round season, a slightly short one, just to get it in before Christmas. But the drivers line up. We have the green flag at the back. Now we have the 5 red lights, and we are racing here at Barcelona for the Spanish Grand Prix. It's a good getaway from Bjorn de Boer. He's going to get in front of Sydney, coming down towards turn number 1. Is he clear enough to get ahead of him into the braking zone? Yes, he is. And here comes Owen. Looks to the inside of Sydney for second place. And he's going to get down the inside. A little bit close. A little bit of contact through the middle of the corners. But Owen gets through. He's up into second. A good start for him. He needs that start on those soft compound tyres. ARL currently sat in 6th at the moment. Jeremy Clarkson's gone down to 7th. Was he down to 7th? He was already in 7th. But I think he was having a look at ARL.
He's off.
Oh, and Hunty off in the background. I'm not sure quite what happened there, but Yellow Geeson gets a free spot for that one. On a bit of a collision between ARL and Jeremy Clarkson through 5. Owen's gone backwards. I think you might see that. We'll come back to that in a minute, as Jeremy Clarkson has a little look through 7 and 8 up towards 9. And Owen looks like initially a little bit wide there from the Racing Bull of ARL. He's going to lose a few spots. He's actually going to go down to 11th now, as Yellow Geeson looking to the inside of Sunboy. Down at turn 10, and it should be a pretty simple move for the Ferrari as he gets in front before turn number 12. Jobs are good, and as everyone snakes their way through the last sector, Owen, who looked to make a good getaway and make use of those tyres, obviously had a bit of an issue there, Mikey, as he runs a bit wide and will pick up a track limit warning.
Yeah, I'm obviously not sure what happened because I was to see what happened to Anthony Hunt, and then not too sure to be fair. But obviously everyone's just playing musical chairs at the minute. So, but obviously first lap, obviously 32 more to go. So let's see what happens and develops from here. So.
And Beyond the Boa has a 1.2 second gap over Sydney right now. So he's broken DRS early, whereas Poor Race Tech is within DRS of Sydney. So this makes it complicated this for Sydney because obviously he's trying to look forward to maybe close that gap to Bjorn. He's going to be looking backwards to a Papaya McLaren in the wing mirrors as they head down towards turn 10. You can see the DRS taking effect as looks like
someone's gone off.
Denmark into the wall.
Was it Denmark? Sorry, apologies.
Denmark in the Alpine into the inside wall of turn 9. Again, another favourite spot for spinning, especially if you take the outside curve just a little bit too much. Boa puts in 15.4 for the fastest lap so far.
City's reeled them back in a little bit though. Obviously, but City's also going to be quite careful. Obviously not just got Paul, but we've got Ashtube as well. Oh, who is Hunty gone? Well, who's got at the back? Oh, sorry.
Denmark into the pits early for damage, I think, but the thing is, Denmark, hopefully Denmark stays with this race, because even though he'll be at the back early on, he's going to get points no matter what here, as long as you finish. Obviously, the top 12 in IRL score points to everyone. As long as they finish right now, they will score points for their championship. And as we know in the past, every point matters in this title race. As Poor Race Tech closing in on the Red Bull. But I get the feeling Sydney may be starting to burn a bit of battery to get inside that 1 second of Beyond the Boa, because he knows he does not need that McLaren coming past him right now.
To be fair, Owen's obviously keeping up with the pack, but obviously Clarkson is.
Bjorn's round. Bjorn's going round at the final corner. I don't know what he's done. I don't know whether he's left on some ERS or something, but the Aston Martin sideways on the exit of the final corner, that is a disaster for him.
Wow.
Down to 9th place. Looks like
ninth.
No damage, which is a good thing for him, but he's going to have to get those tyres cooled down a little bit for the next half a lap before he can really start going back on the charge. Yeah, Beyond the Boa, a rare mistake from him allows Sydney back up into the lead. And Paul Racetech now was hunting for a second, now hunting for the lead of this race. But again, he's got to be careful because Ashtube's right behind him as well. 0.6 of a second, 7 now. And I think that was Hunty just gone round at turn 3. So, nothing...
What a start to the race. The Marshals must be having absolute mare of the yellow flags this afternoon. So
Jack thinking Bjorn touched the curb, must have been the inside curb. Because the outside one's pretty flat, so I would concur that as a definite possibility that for Bjorn. Inside curb touch for the Aston Martin. He's right on board with the McLaren.
Obviously Owen's 1.7 behind now. A bit of a twitch in the final corner. So, how long do you reckon these softs are going to last?
I wouldn't say much more than about 5 laps. I wouldn't have said there won't be much use after this, I don't think, after this lap. But I think the bigger question is how long can those mediums last? Because I think that's the strategy that Owen's going to be going on, unless he's going for a 3-tyre strategy.
I think that's probably what he's going to have to commit to, if I'm honest.
Or is he going to go soft, hard, and hard? He could have 2 sets of hards on board that with that McLaren.
If he selected that, yeah.
Which possibly might not be a bad idea, because he's going to get the undercut here when he pits first off those softs. He'll get an undercut on that, and then again he'll probably have another undercut later in this race.
Obviously, with people I imagine be pitting soon on the medium compound, so you can make those positions up straight away. With obviously no issue. Oh, we've got a yellow flag. Is that Hunty?
Yes, Anthony Hunt, after turn 9, he's gone off. And this is an absolute godsend for Denmark, who was miles behind the pack. He'll now get to catch up to the back of the pack. But Anthony Hunt, I'm going to say he's probably taken got on too much on the outside of the curb, or he's clipped the gravel on the exit of turn 9, and it's spun him around straight into that inside wall, which again is a very common place. It's not one of those, what are you doing? You should never have done that ones. That's very easy for anyone to do.
I won't lie though, that was pretty lucky timing for ARL. Just happened to be near the pit box. Starting for a new set of boots. Thanks, buddy. See you later.
Yeah, I think the only thing here for ARL really is probably what he was hoping wouldn't happen, is that the safety car got out of the pits after Paul Racetech, who we haven't seen it, but Paul Racetech now in the lead of this race, probably due to DRS down to that first corner.
Yeah, it was down into the first corner. Sorry, I spoke at the time when I was talking about Owen's soft tyres.
But the safety car came out just after those leading cars. I think had the safety car caught those leading cars and got in front of them, ARL would have been absolutely laughing right now. But I think everyone's going to be on that delta, so ARL, unfortunately, nothing really gained here in this safety car period. Is others going to dive in? Oh, poor Racetech deciding he's going to stay out. Sydney coming in, Ashtube coming in. Owen, I wonder if that's why poor Racetech stayed out, because Owen's coming in, and obviously they don't want to double stack. Obviously Jeremy Clarkson, he's going to stay out because he's on the hard tyres, as is the Steps. Obviously Yellow Geeson. Yeah, Yellow Geeson again, possibly for double stack purposes, staying out on his medium tyres. Interesting that ARL came in though, so he obviously, that's definitely a 2-stop.
I was cutting back in.
He's got damage on his front wing, that's why.
I didn't see that. Unless when he come in before, it was to get it sorted, unfortunately. But...
Very, very, very possible. But I mean, what this does now mean for ARL is that he is free to sort of decide whatever he wants to do with that car, because he's now already satisfied the rule of running 2 compounds.
Like if he can get it all the way to the end, fair enough. He doesn't have to stop again, does he? So.
Well, it's not about whether he can get it to the end. It's just about, depending on what his allocation is, there's every chance he'd come back in for a set of softs later or a set of mediums. He's got a bit of free reign there to sort of play around with strategy. Because I mean, those mediums that he put on, they technically won't even have a lap of wear on them, not really, because they'd have been under delta. So, obviously a slight change of strategy for ARL, but it could work in his favour later on. Obviously, him and Denmark are going to have to make sure they catch up to the back of the safety car train, which shouldn't be too difficult around this circuit. Obviously, a lot of straights where they can sort of push the car.
Yeah, obviously you get 3 laps, don't they? So, well, mainly 3 laps to catch the safety car. So, is it 26 seconds, sorry. So
yeah, that'll come down quite drastically, especially once, because I think he's under delta right now until he crosses that start-finish line. So from now it should start to come down quite dramatically. Same as like Denmark, he'll be under delta until he crosses that start-finish line, because he's no longer on the same lap as the safety car.
Obviously warm up those tyres as he goes as well on the main straight. Got to get them prepared so he can just get on with it.
But in reality, the tyres should get quite warm from him chasing that safety car, so it should be good to go by the time they gets to that train. And the bigger question is, when does the safety car come in? Does it come in this lap, or is it going to wait for Denmark to catch the train?
Obviously ARL's not just caught up to them.
We'll find out in a minute, because by rights the safety car lights should go out now if they're coming in. And I think we're going to get another lap, a third lap here of safety car at the Spanish Grand Prix. Unfortunately, the cause of the safety car, Anthony Hunt, spinning to the inside of turn 9 and losing a wheel. The first retirement of the night, which is a big shame because, like I say, everyone scores points tonight if they finish.
Absolute shame, to be fair. Well, the question is, it's just mainly to see how everyone else gets on now, unfortunately. So.
You see the train of cars weaving around, trying to get temperature into the tyres. Denmark's going to catch up, probably into sort of turn 3 here for the Alpine.
He's pretty much caught up, to be fair. I think he's just taking his time now. I think it's a fair shout. So, because I imagine you'll have the warning soon for all the 10 car paces behind. So
now he's up to the back. Obviously, all the cars snaking around, trying to get temperature because, by rights, this should be the lap the safety car comes in, but we won't know for definite until we get to the second sector line. Through turn 5 there with Denmark. A little recap on the order though. Paul Racetech is in the lead of this race from Jeremy Clarkson the steps, Jelle Giesen, all 4 of those yet to pit. Sydney is 5th, first of the pit stoppers, so he's going to look to try and take advantage here of some fresher tyres, as there goes the safety car as it's coming in this lap. Ashtube 6th, Owen 7th, Sunboy 8th, Bjorn de Boer 9th after that spin in the last corner, ARL 10th, Denmark 11th and last at the moment, but we're going to go on board with Paul Racetech because we're going to get ready to go racing once again here at Barcelona.
Right, I'll go on board with Clarkson and see if he gets the jump on him, or question is he going to go halfway around this corner, or is he just going to bomb it as soon as he...
And here we go, half in between the last couple of corners goes Paul Racetech. Doesn't quite catch Jeremy Clarkson off guard as he would have liked, but 4/10 is not a bad gap. Question is it enough with the slipstream? Here comes the Williams down the main straight. He'll look to the inside, surely. Yes, he will. To the inside, and the Williams is through into the first corner. A lovely restart from Jeremy Clarkson on those. That's a McLaren taking to the escape road. That's Owen losing positions down to 8th for him. But
he's going back against the Ferrari though.
Down into turn 4, down the inside goes Owen to retake 7th place. Some boy getting overtaken by Bjorn de Boer around the outside turn 5. You don't know, a bit of a slide from Bjorn, but keeps it just about in check. Gets enough traction to stay alongside down towards turn 7 and 8. Room just about given, and Bjorn de Boer, that's a fantastic move from Bjorn.
And then ARL's jumping on the inside.
Yeah, that's the problem. It was the problem with somebody on this circuit. Sometimes as soon as one gets through, you get a little bit of a train who just uses that door, just keeps it wedged open. Sydney and Jelle, they have changed positions as I probably expected, because Jelle not going to hold up Sydney, who is his teammate, as we head down towards the last couple of corners for the 10th time on to lap 11, nearly a third of the way through this race. But it's fair to say, Paul Racetech, the idea was correct, but you kind of sense it was a little bit predictable to go before that final corner. I mean, it's a very favourite place to take your restart to try and catch your opponents off guard. I think people have wised up to it a little bit, and that's allowed Jeremy Clarkson to get into the lead of this race. But as we know, the top 3 and Jelle still yet to pit in this race. So technically, they're kind of like a pit stop behind Sydney. That is, if they're going to be 2 stopping and not 1 stopping.
I think a lot of it's a psychological game, especially on the restarts. Like, if you can go where you're trying to time it right. Obviously, you don't want to be left behind, but at the same time, you don't want to be the car in front and leave it too late. It's battle of wits, I suppose.
So very sort of 25% of this is mental head games and mind games as they come through 11 and 12. It's interesting that Sydney really hasn't made much inroad into the steps, not particularly after getting past Yellow. I just wonder whether he's just maybe not getting involved too much, just making sure that this train stays a train. Because as we know around this circuit, if you lose that train, it's very, very difficult to latch back onto it and sort of keep up with everyone.
The thing is though, unless he's trying to just looking after his tyres, like you said, these have got to pit. Obviously, I think Paul might have to pit sooner, obviously, both the steps and Jeremy Clarkson. But obviously, there's no real push, to be honest, for Sydney to use more tyre wear. It just take your time. They'll start making mistakes when the tyres are starting to go off. So,
yeah, you just get the sense with Paul though that if he can make these last to lap 14, lap 15,
he will.
Then you got a chance of going to the end on the hard compound. Although I don't know whether he might want to try and get more laps out of it and do as little laps as he has to do on the hard compound to ensure that he doesn't need a second stop. As Ashtube has Owen all over the back of him through this third sector. ARL just behind Bjorn as well. Owen practically pushing the RB through the penultimate corner into the final corner. And Owen, who's got onto the set of medium tyres from his softs, opens the DRS. Has he got anything to answer for? No, he hasn't. Everyone just stays. Oh, as it gets really close between Owen and Ash, but all is clean and fair in Love and War. A bit wide though for Owen, and that's going to cost him a bit of time. And Bjorn, I was going to say, Bjorn de Bow did have a little look into turn 4. The door subsequently shut by Owen, but he is sort of in a bit of a pickle here, Owen. He's looking to try and get past Ashtube, but he's got a very, very fast Dutchman behind him.
Does he attack or defend? This is the interesting question.
Wow. Big switch.
Oh, he's gone.
Into the wall. Broken front wing for the McLaren, and that's heavy damage as well to that front wing. That is main plane. I don't really know what happened.
I think as he's come around the corner, he's just lost it. And obviously, unfortunately, there's nowhere Bjorn can go.
We saw the twitch, and yeah, possibly a little clip as he went to recover it. Obviously, Bjorn well within his right to go for a move on a door that opens, but you get the sense for Owen this is going to be an unscheduled pit stop for the damage, as Racetech still can't quite get past that Williams in a straight line. The top 6 have now broken away from the rest of the pack after that little incident with Owen. Owen into the pits. Hope again, like I say, hopefully he stays in because there's still points on offer here for him to pick up.
Obviously, as it stands, obviously Owen will be on. Obviously, received 2 points. So, obviously, like you said earlier, John, every little point helps, especially not these championships. Obviously, as we've seen in the past few seasons, people who've been at the bottom near the beginning, not the best of luck, and gone on to then nearly win the championship as such. So, at the end of the day, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So, yeah.
Just to know, Jeremy Clarkson started to actually pull away from poor Racetech. So those mediums coming to the end of their life cycle, I think, in comparison to the hards. The question is, when does... Oh, he's now. So 14 laps. 14 laps he's done, which means he's going to have to do 19 on the set of hard tyres.
Obviously, unless there's a safety car. Obviously, you can always...
Beyond a boa, sorry to cut in, all over the back of Ashtube, looking around the outside of Ashtube, inside for 2, outside for 3. Can Ashtube keep it on the inside? Yes, he can. Side by side through, and we side by side up towards 4. Both drivers giving each other equal amounts of room. And Ashtube, Bjorn looked for the switchback but didn't quite time it right. Clipped the rear end of Ashtube, luckily no damage done. And it looks all interesting between ARL, Sunboy and Denmark behind. They're all having a massive scrap over 7th place right now. As they head down through turn 5, but Beyond the Boat didn't quite get past that RB, but it was a good effort And good racing from the pair of them to go side by side through those first 3 corners.
Question is, how long do these hard tyres now going to last? So obviously, what must be the thought process for both the Steps and Jeremy Clarkson? So, you know, the Steps going to make them last, just try and make them last obviously a bit longer.
Oh, Yellow Geeson into the pits. So he's done 15 laps on those medium tyres, so he's in a little bit of a better position than Paul Racetech, 1 less lap on the hard tyres.
So in theory, if they wanted to obviously do 14 laps, probably best if Clarkson pitted at around lap 20?
Around lap 19, lap 20, he'll want to come in. Paul Racetech does emerge in front of Yellow Geeson by about 3 seconds, so shows you what the difference is between grip and no grip around here with the tyres, and how big the undercut could potentially be. Obviously, Paul Racetech, now, even though he's on a completely different strategy to the likes of Sydney, will have a big undercut against him. However, the likes of Sydney do have DRS, which Paul Racetech do not. So it could be interesting how this works out. I mean, it's interesting that Sydney isn't catching these front 2. It's sort of been around that half a second, 6/10 of a second gap. I don't know whether he's just sort of not going to try and fight with them, just almost like save the fuel, try and save the tyres a little bit just by hanging back and taking the DRS, take the extra speed down the straight. Is he looking to maybe try and take these tyres all the way to the end, which would be a phenomenal achievement on the basis they've already done 10 laps?
Yeah, obviously stick within that little bubble. Obviously stick in the dirty air, but obviously if he's not pushing too much, but it'll be interesting to see if he can make them last. But I don't see him keeping hold of these to the end, if I'm honest, but I'm always surprised by what our drivers can do, so yeah, I'd love it if someone proves me wrong once again.
Yeah, we like being proven wrong in the commentary box, but this one could be a little bit harder to prove. But the Steps now closing in on the Williams of Jeremy Clarkson, who seems to have a lot of power under that engine cover, because no one can seem to get close to him or close enough to him on the main straight to make an overtake into turn 1.
You don't know, it might be red 5, so it's new body shell on it. There you go, that'll do.
What we do know is the Steps now closing in with DRS. He is close enough. Will he launch an attack into turn 1? The answer is no. He stays behind and just follows the Williams through. Sydney Ashtu beyond the barrier, still behind them. Into turn 4 they head, and everything is just a little bit stalemate right now. ARL looking to get away from Sunboy and Denmark at the moment. Obviously Denmark slightly older tyres after that earlier incident for him.
As it stands as well, from 1st to 5th, 2 seconds. It's quite impressive, and it's all one DRS straight. It's quite impressive, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we talk about with Barcelona and how close the racing can be. It's because of this sort of DRS train that you get. It often keeps the queue quite close, and even though you've got these long sweeping corners.
Owen's gone.
Not a surprise. Through turn 4, he's gone. But we're going to stay with this train because the Steps has lost time to Jeremy Clarkson. He's now 6/10 behind him. Closes in, but he ain't going to be close enough for a run into turn 1. Again, Sydney.
Gone? That's the question.
Well, you say that, but Sydney's still hovering around half a second behind the Steps. He hasn't. It seems like either Jeremy Clarkson's burnt a bit of battery to get a bit of space, or Sydney's again. It's awkward to really know what's going on because, say, Sydney's not really catching them, but
they're not losing them at the same time.
No, exactly that. Through 7 and 8 they go up the hill towards 9. Beyond the Bow, very close to Ashtu. Is he going to have a chance? Quarter of a second, 3/10. Down towards 10. I don't think he is. He's not quite close enough. But Beyond certainly going to be looking for a potential move at some point.
Sorry, just a nice little wiggle by Denmark there. Going over the sausage curb. So, yeah.
And the Steps decides now's the time to come in, looking for an undercut on Jeremy Clarkson. 19 laps complete for the Alpine.
Bjorn is also in as well.
So interesting stuff. What's Bjorn going to go on? Is he going to go on mediums? He's got to be mediums, surely. Yes, he is.
Mediums.
So Bjorn looking for an undercut on everyone in front of him. This could get very, very tasty.
Ooh. Question is, can Yala get the Steps? No. Okay.
No, but he does get ahead of Bjorn de Boer.
Let's see. Let's have a look.
And more crucially, Paul Racetech has a bit of space ahead of him still. He's ahead of the Steps and Bjorn, which is good news for him.
Little bit sideways action there by Clarkson. I think those tyres have gone, if I'm honest, Jord. So
they may well be gone, but this could get interesting on the basis they're on a one-stop.
Indeed, obviously Sydney might have to pit again.
Well, based on Bjorn coming in the pitch, you kind of get the sense that Sydney
Clarkson.
may well have to.
Yeah, Clarkson's in. So Sydney's going to have to put the foot down now and get as much.
Jeremy Clarkson locked right up into the pit entry, trying to get everything slowed down in time. But in he comes, and the question is,
as well.
Yeah, that's not a surprise because Denmark's tyres are 18 laps old. Because he had to change really early, so that's not a surprise. Paul Racek though ahead of Jeremy Clarkson by a fair margin there, by a good sort of 4 to 5 seconds. Yeah, the question really here is, will Sydney pit because of Bjorn de Boer? Obviously, we're not quite sure exactly how much time Bjorn can make up on those tyres. Can he make up a pit stop where there's
a penalty there? Sorry.
I'm not sure he'll really care about that on the basis that he's 11th and in no man's land right now, but he's just looking to get to the end and pick up a couple of points here. It wouldn't surprise me, Owen being Owen, if these front runner, if the top 4 here do come back into the pits, if he comes in, grabs a set of softs right near the end of this race, as I think that's Ashtube coming into the pits now. Yes, it is. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Owen comes in and gets a set of soft tyres and goes to the fastest lap for an extra point. Because that would make his tally 3.
That would be an Owen move, though, if I'm honest. Bjorn going on the inside, yellow. Bjorn, what's going to happen? Championship rivals from last season.
Ashtube coming out. He's going to be behind these two, so Bjorn's undercut has worked, but only just. It hasn't worked like it's been an unbelievable one, but then he has ended up having to overtake people all in the same process.
Yeah, so that's... Oh, we've got a yellow flag.
That's Owen in the third sector. And there he's just recovering after a spin. Sunboy close to ARL still. He's only 7/10 behind, but again not quite close enough to make a move, whereas Bjorn is on the back of yellow.
It's not exactly massively spread out the field. Obviously, unfortunately, with Aaron being 30 seconds back in Denmark, but then obviously, Sunboy and ARL there. ARL going into the pits, apologies. But yeah, obviously, Sydney, 7 seconds. Okay, our new fastest laps are going to start coming in thick and fast with these fresh and medium compounds. So.
Yeah, this thing obviously, as fuel burns off, the new tyres come in, you're going to get these faster lap times come through. So Bjorn about, we know Bjorn's fast. He already had that fastest lap earlier in the session on the hard compound of tyre. So we know how fast he is. He's obviously ahead of Astrid at the moment, but Astrid will be looking to stay with him, get through this pack, and hopefully possibly overtake him near the end of the race. The big question really is Sydney, who has just lapped Owen. Not quite sure if Owen's got any wing damage there, because it looked very hard for him to turn into 12.
Yeah, he's missing both his end plates.
That'll be why he's a bit on the slower side. But Sydney, is he going to try and hang this one out and use the gap? I mean, he's got sort of 14 seconds, 14 and a half seconds to pull race tech at the moment. And there's only sort of 9 laps left, so Paul Racetech's going to have to be taking sort of over a second a lap out of Sydney here. I might actually change that gap as Ashtube gets past Beyond the Bar into turn 1 with the help of DRS. Those two hang on a little scrap now, which is probably not what they want. A bit of collision between ARL and Denmark as ARL tries to get past the Alpine. Didn't quite work, but ARL not far away from maybe clinching that 9th place away from the Swede. As confusing as that might be for people. Denmark, the Swede. As we head down to turn 5 with those two. I'm going to change the gap actually to the leader. So 14.3 is Paul Racetech at the moment. He's going to have to take over a second a lap out of Sydney, and I don't think that's going to happen right now. Not with the steps. Actually, the steps have just overtaken Paul Racetech. So Paul Racetech now, if Sydney was to pit, is no longer the technical. There's only Owen just being a bit slow, I think, letting people through. He might be coming into the pits now. Yes, he is. So I'm expecting Owen to come in, grab a set of soft tyres, and go really fast.
Owen for fastest lap. You hear the here, folks. So
he's gone for a set of mediums.
Mediums.
He could still get fastest lap on the mediums though. That's very possible.
That's a surprise in itself though, but hey ho. So was it 9.2 from Sydney to Sunboy. So 13.8 to the steps. So what's that? What? 1.75 a lap? Yes, take out of Sydney, give or take.
Something like that, and he's not, is the basic thing is he's not even taking a second a lap out of Sydney, so he just rips about 3-4 tenths out of him through this. It's this final sector where it should really show. But as you see, 13.5 basically for the steps as he crosses the line. This isn't going to work. He's got 8 laps to take out this 13 and a half seconds. It's starting to edge towards 2 seconds a lap right now. And that's very difficult to do, especially when Sydney's got clean air and the steps has got the likes of Paul Racetech within DRS still.
To be fair, I'd say he could be a bit cheeky and throw softs on for the last few laps, but it's just pointless now. But what, 7 laps to go? 6.5, give or take. Yeah. Little tyre looked like he was giving away a little bit there. So, but no, to be fair, 19 laps on them hard tyres, I imagine it'd be quite good for any tier 2 drivers who might be watching this evening. Just getting a brief idea.
Yeah, give people a small idea of sort of what strategies you're on. But obviously everyone's different in terms of their tyre wear, the way they drive. So obviously I'll give it an idea, but Sydney, we know how good Sydney is on worn tyres. He stays very, very quick, and I think earlier on he basically just sat in the train and looked after those tyres. Oh, a bit of a lock-up from Paul Racetech is going to allow Jeremy Clarkson a bit of a look into 3. Not quite going to happen on this occasion. But for Race Tech, a small mistake, and he's got to make sure he limits those. Especially if he's maybe thinking that those mediums will wear off and the race will come back to him on his hards. As Jeremy Clarkson just flirts with the grass out of 4 and into 5.
To be fair though, it's been pretty. Oh, Owen making that fastest lap. There's 3 points in the cards in the stands. But no, what I was going to say though, it's been a pretty impressive return for Jeremy Clarkson for about 1 or 2 seasons. Since I think they were in 24, if I'm correct.
Yeah, he was running on F124 a few seasons ago. I remember his last campaign wasn't a full campaign either. So it's good to have him back. And
some boys in.
Yeah, some boy maybe just feeling that he just can't quite keep the car where he wants it, and maybe just knowing that the likes of the steps, poor Race Tech, they're going to come after him. They're going to probably catch him and overtake him. But some point onto the softs. Is he about to steal away Owen's fastest lap? However, knowing Owen, if he spotted that on the leaderboard, wait for Owen to come in later this race, maybe.
He'll probably come in now, knowing Owen, let's be honest.
No, he'll make sure he's got a decent enough gap to Sydney to make sure he's in clean air. And then basically come in when he's got the least amount of fuel on board, making sure he's got one lap with the least amount of fuel he's going to carry.
But he is 1 lap.
As I say that, he's actually, I can see on the track map, he's coming into the pits right now. We already knew that was going to happen with... He's retired. Oh, Rowan, no.
Oh.
Well, all you had to do was put a set of softs on, go really, really fast, and you'd have had 3 points. That's a big shame.
That's a shame, to be fair, because he had 3 points on the cards. That's a shame.
That is the way it goes, unfortunately. Owen retiring from this race, so anyone who finishes gets a top 10. But the gap to the lead is now 11 seconds. It's... Yeah, this is going to be really annoying for those coming down the main straight. There's a yellow flag now because of Owen's car, so that prevents any overtaking into turn 1.
I've just noticed the steps just took a bit of time out of Sydney, but not me. I don't see
nowhere near
5
enough.
seconds.
They've got 5 laps. He has to take over 2 seconds a lap, and on the basis that hasn't happened already, it's fair to say I think Sydney's played a little bit of a blinder. He's looked after those tyres early on, and has just managed to keep a bit of speed in them.
If I remember correctly, I think we did call it, to be fair. Maybe they might be cheeky and go for a 1-stop. And yeah, I think it's fair to say Sydney is our tyre whisperer of Tier 1 so far this season. Well, obviously, the championship is young. So, yeah, need to effectively see who else comes out of it, but see how the sub-boy gets on. We'll watch, see if he can basically take that point for Ferrari. So.
So carrying on, lap number 30 of 33 here in the Spanish Grand Prix, and we're focusing on this fight for second place. One thing that has been quite good tonight, Mikey, track limit penalties. Obviously the only person who'd picked one up was Owen, and he was retired, but the whole of the top 10, the rest of the runners, no track limit penalties at the moment to be applied. So right now what we're looking at is genuinely the result.
Yeah, that's really good, to be fair. Obviously, I know last week a few of the drivers were unlucky. We had obviously the pit lane for Bahrain, and obviously 1 or 2 obviously incidents. But no, to be fair, it's really good. It's nice to see. Obviously, that's touch wood. We still have 2.
Jeremy Clarkson got a big wheel coming out of 12. Thought Ashley was going to have a little look into 13, but not quite. But yeah, Jerry tried to cut in there, Mikey. I just saw the Williams have a slight twitch coming out of 12, and it's really put him under pressure from the RB. Will Ashley have a look? No, slightly too far back, but Starting to see a few mistakes from these front runners as the closing stages come in. Obviously, they're now going to be pushing those tyres to the limits, trying to gain any extra spots they can. As ARL gets past Yella for 7th. That's good news for the RB.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously going into turn 1 as well on the left hand side. It just left the door open from what I sort of caught. So
pretty standard. One of those DRS, you're not really going to be able to fight it too much.
Especially at the end on 15 lap old tyres. So it's...
Yeah, I think Yellow looking maybe at 8th place, which is from 12th on the grid. It's not a bad effort. And again, Yellow obviously did that one stop with Jeremy and the steps, but obviously he went the other direction. He went from medium to hard tyres. Maybe sort of the wrong way to go, because obviously he came in quite late compared to others like Paul Racetech.
In a way, it's sort of been a really quiet race though, like in some respects. So obviously after the lap 5, was it, sorry, safety car, obviously, which unfortunately with Anthony when he crashed out, it's been pretty back and forth for a few drivers, but obviously thankfully
Jeremy Clarkson, sorry Mikey, Jeremy Clarkson really being hounded now by the RB of Ashtube. I can just see that Williams is twitching a lot more out corners than it used to, and I just get the sense that Ashtube is slowly formulating a plan here to get past that Williams. He's getting really close to Jeremy Clarkson, and that's going to bring Jeremy outside of DRS almost from Paul Racing. You can see that little jump in the time there, where Jeremy Clarkson's probably just burning a bit of ERS, as fortunately Denmark picks up 3 seconds of time penalty. Luckily that's not going to affect his race, but Sunboy is only 1.3 behind him right now. So I get the sense Sunboy may get past him.
No, I was about to say it might do, obviously, because you're second behind, but it's just a shame the fact like 2 laps ago, we're like, oh, there's no incidents, like no time penalties. So, don't know. Obviously, penultimate, not penultimate, the last lap of the Spanish Grand Prix.
It is on board with Jeremy Clarkson. He's managed to build a little bit of a gap to Ashtube, but as I say, probably just burnt a little bit of ERS to get that gap as they head through the first sector. It's overtaking has looked harder than it normally does around Barcelona on this game. I don't know whether that's because obviously DRS detection and the zones, obviously some of the zones have been shortened in comparison to previous years, whether that's been reflected in this game correctly or not. I don't know, but that could be the reason behind it. As they head through turn 9, Sydney, we'll keep an eye on where Sydney is because we'll go back to him for the final part of this race. But Jeremy Clarkson now putting some pressure on Paul Racetech through this final sector. I don't quite think he's going to get the move done. We're going to head to Sydney though as he rounds the final couple of corners. The Red Bull driver, he's done a one stop, an incredible early stop. He's kept hold of the tyres. 4.7 is the gap back to the steps, but it is Sydney who wins the Spanish Grand Prix in Tier 1 for Invictus Racing League Season 22. The steps finishes second, Paul Racetech third, Jeremy Clarkson fourth, Ashtube fifth, Bjorn de Boer comes home in sixth. ARL will hold on for 7th place from Jelle Giesen, a good run from him. Jelle from the back of the grid up 4 places to 8th. Denmark, he's going to finish ahead of Sunboy. That penalty is going to affect him as Sunboy claims 9th, and Denmark will finish 10th and take the final point.
Pretty impressive race for some aspects of it. Obviously not too bad, to be fair. Yeah. So yeah. Obviously I win with our fastest lap. Obviously, fortunately, not due to not finishing. Not sure I'll do anything for our championship points, I believe so.
Yeah, I'll have a little look for him, but driver of the day goes to the steps. Not, to be fair, not a bad choice of driver of the day. As we head to the final results, provisional results from round number 2. Sydney takes the win from the steps. He's gone up 6 places, to finish second. Pro Race Tech rounds out the podium in his McLaren with Jeremy Clarkson 4th, Ashtube 5th. Beyond Boa is in 6th, ARL 7th. Yella 8th, Sunboy 9th, Denmark 10th. Owen retiring, and Anthony Hunt also retiring from the race.
No. Yeah, obviously not bad weather conditions tonight, but we know the look of Tier 2 from our previous escapades, George, that anything can happen, especially in F1. So I'm not gonna lie, when I go around here tomorrow, I'm expecting full monsoon weather. So, but yeah, what a race. Obviously fair play to our podium. And yeah.
Yeah, absolutely good results for that podium. And Sydney, 2 from 2. That's critical in this championship. It's only a short championship, only 8 rounds. So this is a really, really good start, a quarter of the season already. And Sydney's won both races. And as we know in the past, it's all about consistent performances to get this championship won. And Sydney doing a very, very good job at that so far.
Indeed. No. Obviously, if anyone does want to take part in the future for Tier 1, obviously wants to have a go, obviously sign up into Discord. And yeah, we can try and get you in. So, yeah.
Absolutely. I'm just looking. I don't think that. Just having a look at the calendar. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that's the right ones that have been posted. I'm pretty certain it is Austria next week for.
Yeah, there was a slight mishap with that. We resolved
Yes.
that, to be fair. It's on me.
I thought it was.
So,
next week we are going to Austria and the Red Bull Ring.
which will be our
first sprint evening of the season of 2. And it's going to be a fantastic one. I mean, Red Bull Ring always produces fantastic racing with a sprint as well. One-shot quali, we know the track limits are sort of, I say harsh, they're difficult to stay in because of the way the track is and how fast you want to go through each corner. But it's going to be fantastic to watch, that's for certain. Obviously, tomorrow we're going to have Jack and ARL with everyone for Tier 2. Myself, you'll be able to see myself and Mikey getting lapped around this Spanish circuit. So hopefully you join Jack and ARL for that one tomorrow, same time, 8 o'clock, when that will start. But for myself and Mikey, thank you all for watching tonight. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, do like the stream, do subscribe to the Invictus Racing League channel, because all the races every season are live streamed and commentated on, so you don't want to miss out on any of the action that unfolds this season. But until Tier 1 returns next week for Red Bull Ring, join us tomorrow for Tier 2. Till then, goodbye.